What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And in this video we will talk about the Valencia midfield maestro Carlos Solaire, because Liverpool are interested in signing him. Fabrizio Romano, the transfer guru, has said that Liverpool could actually do some transfer business in the January transfer window, and even Jurgen Klopp said that if the injury situation requires, Liverpool will sign a player in the January transfer window, potentially an attacker if we get too many injuries. But now that Harvey Elliott is injured for potentially 6 months or more, even though Liverpool are hopeful that he will get back before the end of the season, we could be short in midfield, and that's where Carlos Solaire comes in. But first I want to share what Fabrizio Romano said. So he said it was important for Liverpool to tie down new contracts to key players. Mo Salah will be one of the topics, but for Liverpool they don't like to do panic buys. Last January they had to do it because of injuries. We signed 2 centre-backs because all of our centre-backs, senior centre-backs, were injured. This January Liverpool hope they don't have to do anything, but if they need to, they will. So that is very encouraging. If Liverpool need to sign a midfielder or an attacker because of injuries or loss of form, then we will do it. And I want to say a huge thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring my channel for this month. OneFootball is the home of football, my favorite app. I've been using it for years. You can find all kinds of football news on there, and also you can find the stats, the latest transfer news. I've been going there almost every day, checking the Liverpool transfer news, because they combine the best and most interesting transfer news and football news. And you can find also interesting videos, stats, analysis, fantasy football tips, and all kinds of interesting football related content on the OneFootball apps. And it's completely free, so what are you waiting for? Make sure to download OneFootball using the link in the video's description, and you support the channel as well that way. And according to Spanish newspapers and Fútbol España, Carlos Solaire is on Liverpool's radar ahead of the January transfer window. Carlos Solaire, of course, just like every other player in La Liga, has a release clause, and his release clause is extremely high, 125 million. So of course Liverpool won't pay that, but I think we could get the 24-year-old Spanish midfielder for a decent price, because Valencia are not in Europe this season. They had a pretty horrendous season last season, even though this season they started pretty well. And Solaire bagged 12 goals and got 9 assists in 34 league games for Valencia last season, and I think that those are encouraging numbers. We have to of course acknowledge that Carlos Solaire takes penalties, so the majority of those goals were penalties, but still that's very, very good. And yeah, in total he played 34 games, so in 32 games just he had 11 goals, which made him one of the highest scoring midfielders in La Liga. And he would be an excellent addition to Jurgen Klopp's team, because his passing is very crisp and very concise, and he has the energy levels required to play in a very high intensity Liverpool team. He can run about. He still has a lot of years ahead of him. He's entering his prime, as we said. He's only 24 years old, and he's a silky good footballer, 180 centimeters, so he's not short either. The problem is that Valencia is his boyhood club, so it would take an extraordinary effort for Liverpool to convince him to join Liverpool from Valencia, and also we would probably have to pay a pretty decent transfer fee for Valencia to part with one of their most important players. But I think the lure of Champions League football and winning trophies could convince Carlos Solaire to go to Liverpool, because sooner or later he wants to probably get out of Valencia and play for a club which can challenge for trophies. And what is very encouraging is that he's not an injury-prone player. He already played 188 games for Valencia, and he always plays 35 to 40 games on average. He even had the season 3 seasons ago where he played 51 games for Valencia. And he is also a Spanish international. He has recently been playing for the Spanish national team in the World Cup qualification campaign, and he actually scored 2 goals recently on September the 2nd against Sweden, and on September the 5th against Georgia he scored, even though against Sweden Spain lost, which was their first loss in like 67 games in World Cup qualifying. Carlos Solaire, 2 goals in 3 games for the Spanish national team. That also is a proof that he's off to a flyer for the Spanish national team as well. And he also won the Olympic silver medal in the Summer Olympics, playing for the Spain under-23 side. And he also won the Copa del Rey with Valencia in 2019. And Carlos Solaire joined Valencia when he was 80 years old, so he's a Valencia Youth Academy player, and as I said, it would probably take somewhere between 30 and 40 million to convince Valencia to sell Carlos Solaire to Liverpool. But I think Liverpool, if we have enough money in the bank, we should try and strengthen in the January transfer window, but because that is always a great shot into the arms, and Liverpool are already looking like a team who will challenge for the Premier League and the Champions League. And I think it will be circumstantial. If Liverpool get too many injuries in the first half of the season, and at the moment it doesn't look good, we didn't start well with Harvey Elliott getting a potentially season-ending injury, hopefully Liverpool will not be stretched too thin, but if we will be, then Carlos Solaire could be the answer to Liverpool's midfield problems. And also, he wouldn't necessarily come in as a first choice starter, but at 24 years old he has a lot of years ahead of him, and Henderson is like 31 years old, Thiago is 30, so we need to bring in players who can be the next stars, the next superstars of Liverpool's future. I'm not saying that Thiago and Henderson will be finished anytime soon, but in the next 2 or 3 years they could become squad players instead of starting 11 players, and that somebody like Carlos Solaire could become a starting 11 player instead of a squad player. And Carlos Solaire made a little bit of history in 2020, where he scored a hat-trick against Real Madrid when Valencia won 4-1, and all 3 goals came from the penalty spot, and he joined an illustrious club because only 2 other La Liga players have ever scored a hat-trick before where all 3 goals were penalties. So that is quite remarkable, and I remember I watched that game. Valencia really dominated Real Madrid, and Carlos Solaire was so assured from the penalty spot. So I think he would be a decent signing, in fact even a brilliant signing. If we could get him for 35 million pounds, that would be terrific. And I'm really excited for tonight's Liverpool AC Milan game, and Thiago, this will be a huge season for him, because last season, because of injuries, Thiago couldn't play with the usual midfield of Fabinho and Henderson, but this season they will play together a lot more. Guess what? Thiago, Henderson and Fabinho only started 1 game together previously, and that is our strongest midfield on paper, so it just shows how horribly injuries have shaped Liverpool's starting 11 throughout last season. And Thiago started with players like Curtis Jones and Wijnaldum, and both are good players, but the balance didn't work for Liverpool in midfield last season. There was little drive, Thiago took too much defensive responsibility and gave away far too many fouls. But when Jurgen Klopp decided to bring Fabinho back into the midfield, Thiago has really shown, and he stepped up a level. And he was probably Liverpool's best player in the last run of 10 games, where Liverpool won 8 games and drew 2, and we carried that form into this season. And hopefully Liverpool get no more bad luck with injuries, so we can see the Thiago, Henderson, Fabinho midfield a lot more often, because Thiago brings class and balance into the Liverpool midfield, and he's not only with the strength, the size and the defensive capabilities of Fabinho, but the running leadership and also the passing ability of Jordan Henderson. They both will complement Thiago, and Thiago can have more time on the ball and he can go further forward, because I still think that Thiago should play closer to the final third, where he could really penetrate the opposition defense with his passes, with his shots, with his dribbling. Thiago is half Brazilian and he has a lot of trickery and so many great passing angles that he can find, and he could really get a lot of assists, I think, if he plays closer to the opposition goal, and he could also score 5 to 10 goals if he gets into great positions. And what is also good is that Thiago wasn't selected for the Spain squad for the last international break, so he had 2 full weeks back at Liverpool working on his fitness, getting sharper and fitter, and it showed against Leeds United. He had a great game, and I think in terms of talent and high level experience, probably Thiago has the highest ceiling out of all the midfielders that play for Liverpool. And finally, Thiago will have the opportunity to show this in a healthy, fully functioning team. And Thiago is probably ready to take this season by storm. He missed a large part of last season. He was injured for like 3 months. So hopefully injuries will avoid him this season and Thiago can really shine in this Liverpool side. I'm really excited about the rest of the season. And Stan Collymore, former Liverpool player, has actually said that Trent Alexander-Arnold could break all kinds of assist records for defensive players if he stays at Liverpool and plays in the Premier League for all of his career. He said the fullbacks were fantastic against Leeds United. Trent Alexander-Arnold with another assist. This kid is probably going to break all Premier League records by the time he is finished for assists from a defensive position. He has always prepared to support the attack. The thing I love about Trent is there were a couple of times, be it free kicks or corners, he didn't beat the first man, and Leeds United were like, you are shit Kyle Walker, basically. That's what they sang. Trent replies, here you go, have an assist, there you go, corner in the box, which drops to Fabinho, and he scores. It's 2-0, and Trent Alexander-Arnold celebrated his assist by going out to the Leeds fans, not directly, just going to Salah, and he pointed to his ear and signaled to the Leeds fans, come on, I can't hear you anymore. Because yeah, he shut them up with his performance, and I think the Leeds game was absolutely brilliant, and I really am looking forward to Liverpool AC Milan game tonight as well. What is your prediction for that game? Let me know in the comments below. Jurgen Klopp said this is probably the strongest group that we have had since I've been at Liverpool. It will keep 2 really good football teams away from the knockout stages of the Champions League. This group will be exciting from the first second to the last second, and that's exactly what we want. And Liverpool earned the hard way this place in the Champions League, and I can't wait. European nights at Anfield with a full stadium are always special, and AC Milan, European royalty with 7 Champions League trophies to their name, will come to Anfield, and I really hope that Liverpool will show what a great side we are once again, and hopefully Thiago will play, and hopefully Liverpool will score goals and win the game. Really looking forward to that. So yeah, let me know what is your prediction for that game, and thanks for watching guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. See you later. Good night.